In the heart of the city, where dreams come alive, B-Up's on the mic with that fire in his eyes. From the court to the field, every game, every fight, he's the voice of the struggle under stadium lights. He's seen the highs and the lows, the wins and the pain, every triumph and tear, every loss in the rain. He stands tall.
Good evening. What's going on, man? Y'all here with B Watson, Sports Talk B Watts here on a Sunday night. Uh, B Watts had a prior engagement he had going on tonight, so it's just gonna be me, your boy Coach Dre, and I got my favorite uncle up here with me, Uncle Steve, and we gonna rock out for about an hour or so and bring you a great show. So, Uncle Steve, what's going on?
Everything's going well. Everything's going well, Coach Dre. Coach Dre, we want to let y'all know that we're sitting in for the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. That's B Watts. B Watts gonna kick it back. You know he's gonna look this here video over to make sure we did him right, and we always do that. So, Coach Dre, I always appreciate you and the knowledge that you have and the knowledge that you're gonna bring tonight. So let's get this show started. We didn't start off thanking old B Watts, but it's time for us to make that move, baby, like Charlamar.
So before we get started, I just want to send my heartfelt condolences out to our pastor, Pastor E. Dewey Smith, on the passing of his father, and also the loss of Angie Stone. And so, for those people that are going through that, we want to send our heartfelt condolences and our prayers and love you guys' way, especially for Pastor Smith, who's a part of the CU family. We definitely want to send our thoughts and prayers his way. But first topic of the night is we got the combine over with Saturday. Our guys went out there. They put on a pretty good show. I was pretty pleased. I was kind of down in the dumps at first when I saw that 40 times, but the way he came, how Jimmy came out in the gauntlet, how LaJohntay came out in the gauntlet, I was pretty pleased with what people had to say once they left. What did you feel about how the boys ran the combine?
Well, to me, I don't put too much weight on the combine because all they are in shorts. And what people have to realize this here, those guys are uncomfortable. If you listen to Warren Sapp on what they're being put through during that week for the combine, you understand all they're doing it's like they're just testing. It's basically like the military. The military puts you through obstacles just to see how you're going to act accordingly. So I don't put much weight on it. They did what they needed to do. What you have is 4 years of film. And if you can't listen, people, if you're telling me that these are subject matter experts and that they evaluate film and they've had the pleasure of going seeing these people in actual games, and you can't tell me that they can ball, you see why there are so many teams that are losing teams. Something's not right, because if you can evaluate, you should have a successful team. Period. Back to you, Coach Dre.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people that all the time. I think people get lost in the combine. First and foremost, let me let y'all in on some stuff about the combine. Uh, it's really about trying. The NFL wants to. It's really more about the sitting down and talking with Shedeur did with teams and the medical exams. So like a guy like Jimmy, They want you to get in there because if they're only going by what your medical team was talking about in college, they want to see what you got going on. Case in point, the Penn State defensive lineman. You come to the combine, they check you out, they find out you got a stress fracture that they might not have found out or you might not have told nobody. So now they know that you have an injury going into the off season, that you probably can't participate in OTAs and stuff like that. So you have to. That's the biggest thing that the combine is for. I think like Unc said, we get caught up in the 40 and all of the other stuff, but you have to really be on your toes about back in the day when Coach Prime was coming up, and I think they might have just stopped this maybe a couple of years. They had something called a Wonderlic test, where they were trying to test how smart these young men were. Now I'm talking about this test had really nothing to do with football. We just
Vince
talking about
Young.
we just talking about straight. Want to know? Do you know apples from oranges? Do you know this from that? Uh, just trying to go off your marks, and so once kids stopped bowing down to that and stopped taking it, then they went ahead and threw it out the way. So, like Uncle said, the combine is just shorts and t-shirts. What those young men have put on tape should be validation enough for them, and validation enough for them to get drafted. But going by what the experts said, that LeJounte and Jimmy both helped themselves. Uh, the reason I didn't want them to really work out with other quarterbacks was like LeJounte had like some of the worst quarterback throws, and like
Ever.
I'm not talking about guys, but those throws were horrible. And I was just like, see, that's why I just wanted them to run the 40. But I think when we didn't run the 40 that we were looking for, I think that's what happened. Were you expecting a little more out of the 40 from those two guys? Uh,
I
uh,
was ex- But this is what I'll say about that, Coach Trey, is this here. We're so people really think 4-4 is not fast no more. These guys running 4-4s. I want to explain to people this here. Those are fast receivers. And if you look around there, people get so enamored with a 4-2. But if you look at it, ain't number one guy got a 4-2. You don't get number one guy. And that's every 10 years. If you look at it, every 10 years, you'll probably get somebody running a 4-2. That's not usual. So to me, I thought that Jimmy was gonna run a little faster. But one thing I can say about Jimmy is this one here. The tape don't lie. When the last time you saw somebody catch Jimmy? When was the last? What I evaluate is this. This is what I evaluated. When him and Shepard and Wester went to that boat, went to the East West. Now that's where I evaluated because you're going against other guys who plan on being in the NFL, and they showed separation. Not only did they show separation, they showed quickness and speed. That's what I evaluate because that's going against human beings, other human beings who are trying to get to the same place you're getting. So yeah, the combine I expect more, but you got to realize, man, that's track. We're not running track and field. We're playing football. It's cute and people like numbers, but I want to see what do you do inside them lines. And that's what I got to say about it, Coach Drake. Back to you.
yeah, but see, this the thing, and this what I think a lot of people don't understand is the 40 is great, but that gauntlet drill that they do, that is a more fair assessment for receivers in quickness and speed because that's what they're doing, moving when the ball's in the air, catching the ball on the run, having to turn up. So that is the most identical thing for receivers. And so I'm not gonna say and tell you. I was kind of when he didn't run. I wanted him to run like a 4-3. So when he ran the 4-4, I was like, I wanted you to run a 4-3. But then when Jimmy got out there, he ran a great gauntlet drill, and then uh he went out there and caught the passes. He caught a great deep pass from Dart. Uh, every pass that just about came his way, he caught. So I felt better. Uh, Uncle Steve, let's talk about the selflessness of Shedeur. when he was done with all this testing and everything, he could have left. He had nothing else left to do here. I think he had met with everybody, but for him to hang around for his guys, stay there and support Jimmy and LeJounte and be there, helping them, pushing them through, and then making sure they get the interviews and get the FaceTime that they deserve. Let's talk about the selflessness of Shedeur Sanders.
I'm going to speak on that later on. I'm going to speak on something else about his selflessness and everything else when it comes to two. This is what people got to realize. Two don't need this. I'm just being real with you. Two don't need this. It's teams that already talked to two that had already told him, this is what we expect to do for you, because if you want to get fired in the NFL, I can guarantee you, listen to what I'm saying today. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but listen, Linda, listen, Linda. If the teams that miss out on the quarterback, these losing teams that miss out on quarterback, that general manager will be fired in 3 years. If you go in there and miss out on two or Cam Ward, and you go up there and do what Chicago did, getting a Trubisky that year, and then other ones that they have done, you will not have a job. You will get fired. That is what's going on. But getting the two selflessness is this here. He don't need it. Two don't need it. But the respect and love that he has for his teammates is this here. Those teammates made a sacrifice for his father. You can say whatever you want to. Those teammates made a sacrifice for his father. And because of that, two is one of those guys. You take care of my family, I'm going to take care of your family. And that's what he's doing. Because you can say whatever you want to. It all started with the young man who went to the NFL to Arizona last year when him and J5 came. It was one of those things where those guys didn't have to come. You can say whatever you want. They did not have to come. They could have went other places, but they decided to take Coach Prime up and to take their talents to CU. And because of that, it elevated CU and it also elevated them. So it was a win-win. When two saw that, and then you look at the boy Shepard who came, and then Travis Travis don't need it all at all. But Travis did come to Jackson State for his father. That was huge. So me saying that is this, coach. Two is one of them guys. If I'm in that foxhole, and yes, I'm former military, Air Force, 24 years, air power. If I'm in that foxhole, two is the person I want to be in there with because he has integrity. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be the last person in the fight. You can depend it. We'll be back to back. I'll be on this side, two will be on the other side because I know he's gonna cover me. And that's the kind of guy I want to lead my organization because I know and other players know when they see him what two doing, all it's doing is elevating his stock level because they're saying, I can trust him. He's trustable and he's believable. Other guys, they want to go places and go to the clubs. Two is about let me stay here and put time into my people. I got number props for two because he could be doing a whole lot of other things. Back to you, Coach Dre.
Yeah, I mean, I was proud of that on the simple merit of what you said was, and I think he said it. He's when the lady asked him in the interview, why did he said because these guys, when they came and helped me. My receiver room had got a little low. I didn't know. I knew was Jimmy and Travis was coming back. But for LeJounte to come and Will to come and these guys to help me and stay with me, make sure that I had receivers to throw the ball to, the caliber of those young men, that was great for him. And then like you say, he just repaid the favor by staying because of the simple fact is I know when I'm somewhere the camera is always on. Somebody wants to talk to me. Somebody wants to get my opinion. Somebody wants to know what I feel like. And I also feel like that's going to help one of these guys. I just believe that one of these teams are going to ask Shedeur in one of these later rounds, third or fourth round, hey, which one of them guys you want? And, so I think that will be big in seeing that the chemistry that these guys got. And you want that for a young rookie quarterback. Don't let nobody tell you that ain't what young rookie quarterbacks want. They want somebody they feel comfortable with. I believe Shedeur can go in any room and vibe out with any guys, but to know that I got a guy there that's been with me in the trenches, that's been with me in this fight, I'm definitely wanting to. go with that. Another thing we saw this weekend, we a week away. We a week away from spring practice. Everybody should be coming in, and but Will off dropped the video late yesterday showing them boys working out, man. And you saw K Salt working out with them receivers. But before we get to them, I want to talk about Big Hughes out there working out by himself. That kid looks like a real old, like he's gonna be a real animal in that linebacker room. But just talk about what we see with these kids not taking days off, making sure they putting in the extra work when nobody's watching. But the man got to catch them on well off. But when they didn't have to be working, let's say that.
It to me is this here, Coach Dre. Don't tell me you want something if you're not willing to make that sacrifice. If you're telling me you want to make it to that next level, you that means you have to put in more work than that person you're going against, your opponents. That means you need to put in more work than that guy who's trying to get to the NFL just like you. You cannot just say, "Oh man, 4 days a week, that's perfect. I need to rest." It doesn't work like that. The people that I grew up with, the Kobe's, the MJ's, the Dr. J's, you just see men that said, hey, they knew in order for me to obtain the greatness that I want to obtain, the sweetness, and people who don't know who sweetness is, that's what Mr. Walter Payton. And we call him sweetness where we're from Mississippi. But my point is this one here. Those people are the ones who, Jerry Rice, that run up hills, that do things to other people. You should be doing things and people should look at you, he crazy. Now that's when you working out. When Kobe working out, doing these Akeem Olajuwons by himself, turn around jumpers, shooting it and making the fakes and everything up. People and Shaq now I'm looking at him saying, something off with that boy. That boy screws ain't there. He just acting like he's playing against somebody, but the only thing he was doing is playing against himself because he's just fighting for greatness. That's when you know that your team is going in the right direction. Because I'm here to tell you, they haven't proven anything. No disrespect to them. This team here is, no one has proven anything. The only thing they've shown is they're very talented. If you want to get to that next level, I can tell you something right now. Them Texas Tech, Arizona State, those teams are putting in work too. And BYU, the way we played against BYU, we shouldn't have no days off. What the way they did that? You taking days off and BYU still got a belt in their hand? You can't do that. So I applaud them. I applaud them, and I'm applauding them because they're doing it the right way. They cut the cameras off. Yeah, well off video, but I would video it too. If somebody's going above and beyond and doing stuff like that, I want people to see they putting in the work, and that's what they should do. And the next thing they're doing, coach, is this. That's called camaraderie. That's building a team. When you get a group of guys together, you're formulating that culture. You're formulating, hey, it's us that's going to be in that foxhole. We're going to be in the foxhole, and I know your tendencies. We're getting more comfortable, and that's what you want to see when a quarterback. Because I can guarantee you, I hate to tell y'all, if y'all don't think Juju ain't with those other freshmen that's coming in and they doing their thing, you're sadly mistaken. Let me say again, if you don't think Juju is not with his boys, with his group, that he's going to lead for the next 4 years or 3 years that he's going to lead, I think you're sadly mistaken. You better pay attention to that because I can guarantee you he is. Back to you, Coach Dre.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you see our producer put up the that right there with Juju getting the National Quarterback of the Year award. I want to say I think it was Friday night he got that award. Uh, and that just shows that all the hate that's been going on, talking about this kid ain't a top flight quarterback coming out of high school and how he wasn't rated as high as the guy from Michigan and stuff. That's just talk, man. And we don't we don't buy into or we don't subscribe to that. JJ, listen, when we call again, my mama still called me a kid because I'm 40 something years old, but to her I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we be being disrespectful to them. But most of these young men are kids. They age don't make you grown. I'm gonna keep telling y'all that age do not make you grown. That just make you a year older. It ain't got nothing to do with you being grown. Because if you can't handle what you need to handle, how you gonna call yourself a man? But these young men, these young boys trying to become young men, and that's what Coach Prime tells parents is we trying to take young boys and turn them into young men so they can become great men. It steps to this, and you gotta be taught that. But back to what we was talking about, you're right, B Watts. You didn't know the camera was gonna be there. You didn't know the camera was gonna be there. You didn't know the young man that's filming for B Watt for Bucky was gonna be there. So what you did was that's what real character is. That is what real character is. Those young men are showing the character now that we're talking about. Because of the simple fact is that's when it counts. I know what you're gonna do when we're there. I know what you're gonna do when Coach Prime standing there. I know what you're gonna do when Coach Swayze standing there, Coach Falk, Coach Sapp, and those other great coaches that we have. I know what you're gonna do when they're standing over you. I know you're gonna put in all the hard work. But will you put in that work when nobody's looking? When everybody else laying down, is you gonna get up and do a little extra? When your body a little sore, is you gonna push yourself to the brink so you'll know that you can push yourself through that brink in practice. But I was excited and delighted to see those young men getting after it. I know they really anxious, chomping at the bit. I know that they feel like uh this couldn't get here quick enough. But to see those guys out there throwing the ball, to see the lineman again, you see the lead out there. And when Coach Sway said it in one of the well-off videos earlier this week, that when your best player is your hardest worker, you don't have many problems. Because when the guy that's getting all the accolades, when the guy that's getting all the praise and the preseason All-Americans and this, that, and that, when that guy is your hardest worker, there's nothing nobody else can say. Because hey, this guy getting all of this here, you ain't getting nowhere near this. So you need to be trying to catch up. Every time he out here working, you better be out here working. And when he go inside, you better stay out here a little longer. Because that's what it takes to get to where you getting. And bring up another great point. Hey, this is a whole different team, guys. This ain't the same football team that we done had the last 2 years. There is no let's go in and put that out there and let's get ready to hear this. Hey, y'all don't have Shedeur to bail y'all out. Y'all ain't got Travis to bail y'all out. That's what you're gonna hear at the beginning of the season all year long. So these guys getting out there, getting comfortable with each other, understanding where K Salt gonna throw the ball, understanding where this route, and then again, hey guys, Timmons looks good. Timmons looks good. He looks real good, and he's leading that room. Him and Draylon Miller are leading that room. Unc made another great point. Is Juju knows that pretty much probably knew that camera was gonna be there. Juju not coming in there to throw no ball too much with no camera on him. He just, that kid, and it's not that he doesn't like the camera, y'all. He just wants to prove himself first before he gets all of that. See, some people just want to come in and walk into the limelight. Juju isn't that kind of guy. He done been in the limelight his whole life. This ain't, like I said, this ain't nothing new to him. He's used to this. So he just wants to make sure that he's ready. Again, he is a 17-year-old kid. He's a kid that's supposed to be in high school. He's supposed to be getting ready for spring practice in in May, not getting ready to go into spring practice for college football next week. So I don't want anybody to feel like, well, why you see K Salt and you don't see Juju? All of those guys are working. And they're working, like I say, there's no set time to come in the building. They all have keys. They all can get in the building anytime they want to. The building is at their disposal. When you have that little lanyard they got with their name on it, boy, that gets you in that building anytime you get ready. So uh that's the biggest thing, like you said, is that camaraderie that they're building up, because this, like you say, this a whole different team. I think the offense will have one, two, three, maybe three. What you say? Maybe three starters coming back from the team last year. We said that started last year. Maybe three.
Yes, Yes. What I like about Coach Prime is this one here. You might have a little more than three on offense that come back, but Coach Prime, it's competition. That position, it ain't number one position that I say is in stone, and that's that left tackle. Period. That left tackle in stone over there. But other than that, I also see left tackle. Honestly, left tackle is the only position I say is in stone. Everything else, and I will go Draylon. I would go Draylon and O. So that would be my three, and well, I would do four because now you're gonna have running back. So a running back gonna be Augustus. They probably start off with Augustus starting off, but he they can't get injured. Anybody who gets a nick or a knack on them, and you cannot stay out 1 or 2 weeks for Colorado because if you do, you might not see the field again. That's how competitive Colorado is. And I'm gonna take it to you this way, Coach Dre. The starters mean nothing. I hate to tell people, and you tell us this all the time, Coach Dre. You're one play away from that person not even being there for the year. Just look at Hayes. Hayes started. Hayes played 4 games, was gone. And look what that did for Arden Walker, McCoy, Wade, and the rest of them. It just opened up doors. So what I would tell you is this. Please don't get comfortable when you will see an S for starting on your name, because if you do, that wolf behind you or that buffalo behind you that's breathing hard ain't like the one that we saw at the BYU game that didn't want to walk and run. These young buffaloes behind you now want to take your head off. And not only do they want to take your head off, they respect each other, but they want to let you know you don't have the opportunity to sit and sit on your laurels. Because I'm gonna give you an example. You could have a 200-yard game like O did, and if you turn around and practice that next week, man, I did 200 yards. I ain't gonna be doing this. You're gonna be sitting on that bench, and you might not get in for the rest of the year. So, with that being said, Coach, I'll put it to you this way: what I like about CU is this one here, and this is why I tell people that I feel very confident on CU that depth. They have second string and third strings of players that you can put in the game and still be able to win. That's what I love about CU. I could go down each position and be like, oh, wow, that's nice. And don't hit edges. When you hit edges, we can start going to the IMG boys. And right now, those boys are fourth and fifth. If you look at it, and I'm gonna give you another person that I'll tell you something. These two people, for you right quick, Coach Dre. Look at Wiggins. Look at Wiggins, honestly, when they looked at his talent, that boy a 5-star talent. I'm talking about Wiggins, the DE over there. Look at how he looks compared to the other players. Those players like that are going to be right now third and fourth, but they're going to be putting themselves up there because they have something the other guys don't have. They've been in the system for a few years, and he has man strength. It's just putting it together, getting them comfortable. The next person I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it alone, David Swain. I don't think people are saying this enough. They're trying to put more and more strength and meat on his bones because, you playing that D tackle. David Swain, hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying, Lindas. David Swain is going to dominate. I ain't saying this year. He's going to be one of those guys. You're going to be like, man, you're going to see games where you're going to see it. You're going to be like, wow, he splashes. But the next year, it's building for the David Swains because you put him at defensive tackle, and that's a man's man position. It takes time to get the size along with the confidence and the technique down at that D tackle position. So I understand that. But I can see what Colorado is doing. Certain players they're not showing. David Swain, they don't show too much. But he's going to be ready. Back to you, B.Y. Back to you, Coach Dre.
But I mean, you said it right though. That's how you win championships. I think a lot of people get in their minds that it's about the guys that start. It's not. To win championships, you got to have quality backups. And when coach say quality backups, I mean guys that you feel comfortable with, or they're just as good as your starter. There is no drop off when we put them in. What I'm saying is last year, Hood was a quality backup. we know he could have been a starter, but he was a quality backup because when we take out when we took out Travis, we didn't feel like we were losing anything. Last year, Carter Stoudemire was a quality backup. When Shiloh came out, we felt good with him going in. Uh, Up front, when anybody came out, we pretty much, especially like Unc say at that end spot, you could just run down the list of names that we felt good with. Now at the defensive tackle, I didn't feel as well when Shedeur wasn't there. I'm not gonna tell anybody that I felt that comfortable with that. At the receiver, guys, we and that's the thing that I think that we get over got receiver, defensive line. And I don't care who starts. That's a rotational position. Anywhere from 6 to 8 kids are gonna play on that in that receiver spot, in the receiver spots, in that defensive line spot. Those those are rotational spots, right? So as long as I feel good about 8 guys on the at the receiver spot, I feel great. As long as we got 3 deep at the defensive tackle on each side, and we got 2 to 3 deep at the ends, I'm good. And I think we have that. So what we just need to see is a consistency, and that's what Coach Prime always brings up is the consistency that we have. Now, granted, what Salty said is we got to get chemistry because again, these guys been catching balls from Shedeur, Ponder, and Staub. It's 2 guys that we're looking at to be our quarterback 1 and our quarterback 2 that they're not used to, right? With the Juju and K Salt. And so that extra work that they're putting in, they're gonna have to put that in on off weeks. They're gonna have to put that off. They're gonna have to put that extra work in the summer because we gotta be on the same page because the college football world ain't gonna wait on us to play catch up. And one thing they're not gonna give us is the opportunity to say, "Oh, well, no, they not going. That's not what they gonna want to hear. That is not what they're gonna want to hear. They gonna want to see results." And I think that's the reason why you see these guys pushing so hard because again, these guys that left have left a foundation. You hear me say that all the time. They laid that solid foundation, that concrete. They laid it down. But now we got to put up some bricks. We got to put a roof on this thing. We got to put some insulation in this thing so we can build us a house. And I think that going to get Coach Sway was a great addition. Again, I'm gonna say this because I said it before. Guys, I don't think that Coach Prime did this as a disrespect to Coach Mo or the emotion to Coach Mo. I think he did this to help Coach Mo because you bring a guy like Swayze in. Y'all saw what Coach Mo did last year with Seaton, how he changed that guy's body around. So you know that this guy can build bodies and get them right. Now we want some speed to go with that. And what Coach Swayze brings is that speed, and that kind of training. And then, like I say, he did a little tweaking. Like I say, you don't hear that music in the weight room. And again, it's not a knock on it. It's just the point of you hear them guys talking to each other more. The thing that Coach Prime talks about all the time. Y'all remember last year, Coach Prime put a big made Mama T put one of them big things in the middle of the table. When the guys got to the table, they had to put their phones in there so that they would talk to each other, not just sit there and look at their phone the whole time while they eat and learn about their teammates. Well, that's the same thing going on right now in the locker in the weight room. You guys got to talk to each other. You got to find out about each other. You got to push each other. You got to go back and forth with each other. And that. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to help us with being more disciplined this year, with being more in tune to what we have going on. Because I think we just made silly and simple mistakes last year doing little silly things like that. And being, like I say, when you got that music in your ear, if you ever notice, you will just zone out. You don't even know nobody else in there. You don't know anything else is going on. But when you don't have that music on and you listening to your teammates and they pushing you and they pumping you up and things of that nature, you you feel a little bit better. So I feel good about where we stand. Like I say, Our biggest concern right now is what everybody thinks it is. It's the offensive line. I need about 4 or 5 more of them. I need about 4 or 5 more of them right now. Because again, Unc said right now all I got is the Seaton Express. That's a set starter for me. And I like the kid McGill. And I feel he gonna start at either center or guard. And if he starts at guard, that means Cass Cleveland is our center. But those 2 guard spots, they're open. But my sleeper, because I saw Miss Selma Johnson say something about the sleepers. On that offensive line, Yaya Yo-Yo is one of my sleepers. He been working real hard. I've been watching him. He been out there with Shedeur. He been taking notes. And see, that's the kind of guys I like. I like them kind of guys that when something like that's going on, he's always around. I'm always trying to get ahead. I'm always trying to make sure hey, oh man, they got the stuff in here that's gonna be at the combine. Well, this is what I'm trying to go to. Let me get in here with Shedeur and see what he got going on and see what I can learn from this right now. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. I kind of want Tay and Jimmy to come up here and work with Sway these next couple of weeks on that 40, because they already got the equipment here. I think what they've been doing down here in Florida has been great. No disrespect to the guys that's been getting them guys ready down here in Florida. I know them guys. They great. They great trainers and they great brothers. But the computer stuff is already here, and I see what Sway is doing with Shiloh. I just think these next couple of weeks, getting ready for pro day, I would love to see those guys back up here in Boulder, working with Coach Sway on that 40. Tell me what you think about that, Coach.
I think that you not only did you hit that nail right on top of the head. The next thing is this one here. When you get to Colorado, that altitude, I wish they would have trained here. That's they to me personally, I would like Shiloh did. I would train in Colorado, and then when you get to sea level, then it's boom. You're even faster because you like, hey, you got so much energy, you got so much air in them lungs. So that's what I would have did. If you look at those track stars come to Colorado. All the ones who do the Olympics, they do that in Colorado, Utah, where that air is thin. Because when that air is thin, you got to get more air in them lungs, and you got to work harder. And when that happens, when you get sea level, below sea, man, you like, woo, you're moving at another level. And this is something else I also saw with Jimmy that they need to hurry and get up here. If you look and see how Jimmy took off, and then you look at how Coach Swayze is teaching Shiloh, and it's about being comfortable, understanding what you're doing. He when he got off kind of high to me after listening to Coach Swayze talk to Shiloh, saying, hey, you need to stay like this here. You're down to here and you're going. And when you get there, quit trying to go so hard this way and let it flow. You're trying to run too hard. I think, and a lot of that is getting your mind right. It's repetition. What Jim and them was doing, I guarantee you, Jim and them was doing so many different type of exercises and different things for the combine that, man, your body ain't just ready for just that 40 because okay, now we need to do the gauntlet. You need to be able to do this here. Now you need to do this here, jumping on this one here. So that ain't speed. Coach Swayze's got Shiloh like, hey, we talking about speed here. And if you look, I'll tell you something else, what also helps too. If you've noticed, who is that cornerback, that DB that's back there with Shiloh? It's that Carter Stoudemire. And if you don't think that's not important, that's a track man. That man mama's is a phenom. She's a track star at Olympic level. You know what I'm saying? And he's a track dude. So my point is this one here. When you got people like that, it says a lot. But with all that saying, they need to get to Colorado. They need to get on the Coach Swayze. And I think they're running. They're running because what happens is this one here. You're going to see a different speed. Jimmy I can put it this way. I'll feel comfortable to say Jimmy's going to be fast in Colorado because he'll get that training in and he has something to prove. When he gets here, he has something to prove. When he get to Colorado, he's going to sleep in bed that he's used to sleeping in. He's going to be comfortable and he won't have the stress on him. When you at that combat, that's a lot of stress, man.
Yeah,
That's because
and that's what That's what I told them. That's what I thought too. I just thought they were a
It
lot.
looked like
It
it was
was a lot of
stressed.
nerves. It just looked like they was tight, like you say. That start is what got me. When I looked at them, I say, why they coming out so high on their start? And
Yep.
so, I know Coach Swayze. Like I said, I've been watching him work with Shedeur and with Shiloh and getting them right. And so that's the first thing that popped into my head. They've been doing great work down here in Florida, but I need them to get up here with Coach Swayze for the next week because they already got the equipment up here.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude, y'all see the people came back. If y'all go watch, Shiloh has put out 2 videos. The people who came the first time, those people came back. And they said they still not telling you what Shiloh ran because they don't want nobody to know it. But they said that his times had got better. And even right then that day, when they were running the 40 in the video, the last one was his best one. And that's what they talked about. How the first ones he was tense and he wasn't you know what I'm saying, he was more nervous. He said, but when he loosened up, Sway just
Mm-hmm.
says all you gotta do is you gotta just be calm. You gotta be loose. You can't be uptight because those muscles will get tense and stuff of that nature. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they do get up here uh within the next few weeks to get
Yep.
some of that speed training that Coach Swayze has, because I thought me honestly, I thought that was another one of the big reasons why we got Swayze was to get up here to help those boys run the 40. I think Justin Mears is gonna surprise some people with his 40.
Yep. I think
Uh,
you.
because he's been up here, he been up here in Colorado the whole time working, and that's what you love. That's what I love about these young men. Uh, I'm not gonna tell y'all no lie. What I saw from the offensive linemen today, and what I saw from the defensive linemen, uh, the first day, I think BJ Green should have got an invitation to the
Yeah.
combine. I'm not
Yeah.
upset because at the end of the day, our pro day is gonna be just like a combine and probably even better because every team in the National Football League is gonna have a team there. You liable to see double-digit head coaches at the University of Colorado's pro day because of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. And so, um, but I was just like, hey, my guys could have came out here, like especially BJ Green, especially BJ Green, uh, and competed with these young guys. So I was really disappointed that they didn't get the opportunity. But once again, going through it a couple of years ago with Ant, and then understanding that it's not on the guys, it's on the teams. So a multitude of teams have to ask for you. So like Uncle Steve's a great offensive lineman from such and such university. Well,
Yep.
it's got to be a lot of teams that's interested in you to say, hey, I want Steve here, I want Steve here, I want Steve here. And so that's what happened with LeJohntay at the last with the last minute was after the Shrine Bowl. A lot of teams were calling up to the NFL saying, hey, we want to see this kid, we want to see what he tests, we want to see what he measured. And I saw a question: what's the difference between the NFL Combine and the Pro Day? Well, the NFL controls the NFL Combine. This is
Mm-hmm.
set up, ran by NFL coaches. This is all ran by the NFL. These guys have to do exactly what the NFL wants. Well, at your Pro Day, they don't have to do that.
Yep. That's what you know. Seemed like Coach. There you go. You back, Coach Dre.
You can still hear me?
Yep. You back.
Hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Uh, you, you, you. At the Pro Day, you are more in control. Whoever they'll be conducting this, and they'll be the throws will be made
It seems like Coach Dre is dropping off. I know I can't hear him, and if that's the case, when he gets back on and he gets to talking, we'll go from there. But with that being said, I will tell people this here: when it comes to that combine, and for people like BJ Green, and you also have Chidozie, you don't have to worry. And what I mean is, you don't have to worry is this here. Coach Prime and the defensive coordinator and the tape that those guys have put forth for everyone else to watch, you're going to realize this here when it comes to the BJ Greens. This is going to be an advantage for BJ Green sometimes. And listen to me while I say this. BJ Green now might get on a better team. You might, when you're picked high, you're getting on a pretty bad team. It's a reason they're picking high. If you're going later on in the rounds, just imagine this here. BJ Green with the Kansas City Chiefs, because they need people on them edges. Let's go with this one here. BJ Green with the Detroit Lions. If you notice all those injuries they had, they'll love a BJ Green. Oh, what about this? BJ Green with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just listen to it. It's beautiful. And you also have this here. BJ Green to the Cincinnati Bengals, because they need a lot of help. And then they have the defensive coordinator that was there, defensive back coordinator who was there, who's going to enlighten teams like Cincinnati, who has a relationship with that owner. That owner, if you don't think that owner is going to call him and say, hey, what you think about this player here? Would they be a good fit for us? And you're going to see Coach Prime. If you don't think Jerry, listen to two people, what you're going to see. If you don't think Jerry is going to call Coach Prime and say, hey, what you think? Is this person a good person to get in the 5th or 6th round? And last but not least, I can put it to you this way. A receiver for the Colorado Buffaloes, I can see them getting picked by the same team that picked Shedeur Sanders. Even if it's in the 5th or 6th round, 4th, 5th, or 6th round, that team is going to trail back and say, hey, I want to have somebody he's comfortable with, because they're going to ask too when they draft him. They're going to ask him, what you think about LaJohntay? What you think about Shepard? What you think? Is it worth us going up there getting him? How would you feel about that? And I can see one of them being with him. And if I'm looking at it, I definitely probably would see LaJohntay, because he's 7'11". When you're 2 and you need somebody there, that person's going to be open, and I'm comfortable, and I know his work ethic. I can depend on him. That's not saying anything about anyone else, because they might be gone. They might be gone a little quicker, because would Jimmy do what he's supposed to when he's in Colorado? Jimmy gonna turn some heads, and I see that for him. He's gonna turn some heads with his numbers in Colorado. But that's the way I see it, Coach. You're back. Go on and enlighten us with some more.
Yeah. So I see a lot of people asking. Pro Day will be for all of the guys that have entered their name in the NFL draft. So every kid that we've had on that roster this year, the guys that we've just talked about. But like you said, you will see the BJ Greens, you'll see the Colts, you're gonna see Shiloh, you're gonna see Silman Craig, you're gonna see Travis J, you're gonna see who I'm missing.
Chidozie.
You're gonna see your Mayers, you're gonna see Jadozi. So we should have anywhere from 10 to 11 guys participating in Pro Day. Now, here's the thing that we don't know about. We just going to talk about it. Is that the Big 12 is having their own Pro Day for the Big 12. I don't expect any of our guys to participate in the Big 12 Pro Day. I think they're having that because if you guys recognize last year, Coach Prime, even he did it when he was at Jackson State. When Deion had a pro day, he let other kids from other universities come in and participate in Colorado's pro day. I think he let some kids from Colorado State last year come in and participate in CU's pro day. So I don't see us foreseeing having to let people come into our pro day this year because the Big 12 is having their own pro day. But I might see the guy Horn from Colorado State. I could see Coach Prime maybe extending his hand, asking that kid, "Do we need to come have a pro day?" Because now it's about getting these kids to the NFL, and Deion is all about that. He's all about making sure these young men get the opportunity uh, when he did it at Jackson State, I think he invited the kids from Mississippi Valley, the kids from Prairie View A&M, and all any school that were close that could get to Mississippi, could get to Jackson State. He offered those seniors the opportunity to come have a pro day with Jackson State because he knew all the eyes would come because of who Deion Sanders is. But we should have a good pro day. It should be, like I say, every team from the NFL will have a representative there, and I'm talking about a big representative. I ain't talking about just the little scouts. I'm talking about the GM,
The
the
coaches,
president of player operation, the position coaches and head coaches, because again, Coach Prime has that kind of pull with the NFL, and I know what people gonna say, and that's great. Oh well, that's the only reason them guys getting the shot is because of Deion. Well, hey, maybe if you came to Colorado, you get a shot too. You know, I'm not mad at people saying that. Let's talk about this, right quick. I've been seeing reports coming out saying that they see Shedeur Sanders taking a slide in the draft uh, because they don't think he's that serious. I think I saw one quote say he seems like he's more worried about his music than football. Earlier today, I said they see him going at 6. 6 is the Las Vegas Raiders, which okay, guys, that's what I think he really wants to play. Uh, I'm telling nobody no. I'm just being very biased. I don't want him to go to the Cleveland Browns if he does.
I don't
Whew,
know.
Lord, I'm gonna just
I
have to
don't know.
deal with it. But I really think that the Titans are going to trade that number 1 pick
Yeah.
to somebody who wants to come up and get Shedeur or Cam. I throw that out there, but more of Shedeur than anything else. Give your take on what you think of the people trying to bring two down with their talk, and then what do you see happening with him, or do you see somebody coming up in the draft and getting them higher than what they're predicting?
Coach Trey, this is what I see. I see a smart team coming up and getting 2. And if they don't, you're going to see GMs, like I said, and people going to be like, well, man, that's strange. That GM got fired. Why did they fire that GM? Because you're going to have an irate owner sitting there with that GM looking at him. We passed up on 2 because you told me about music. But my next thing is this to the people out there in podcast land. If 2 was Tom Brady and you see him putting in the work that he's putting in, what would they be saying about it? What a competitor. Look at look at 2. Two's putting in that extra work. Look what he do. He's selfless. Look at it. When everybody's sleeping, Two's working. Look at him think. Look how methodical he is. He thinks with his mind. He don't need his feet running around there. Look at him. Two is working while everybody's sleeping. That's what separates him. Look at his mind. He's mentally. Look at him. He's mental. Look. His IQ is at another level. That's the stuff they say about other people. And 2 is doing the same thing Tom Brady does. If you look at the work that 2's putting in, 2 puts everywhere he goes. He has a football with him. He has a personal trainer with him that Tom Brady does, and he's putting in the work. Just because he fly and he got style, we gonna talk about that. When it come to styling and profiling, all we do the nature boy, y'all get up there, did you hear the name? Woo! Nature boy style and profile, but when he got in that ring, he performed every night, 60 minutes, the 60-minute man. 2 performs every night. Not only does he perform it, let me tell you something about this is what makes a quarterback. This is what makes a quarterback or a football player. When that football player goes to the combine and they send a driver to pick that quarterback up. That quarterback's in the back talking while that driver's driving. And that driver's driving, every conversation you're having, that driver's listening to you. You don't know that driver's hired by the NFL combine teams, and they're going to that driver and they're asking that. If you listen to Chris Carter tell you the story. Well, they listened to two. Two didn't know that that person that was driving him, the NFL was going to be interviewing that driver to ask him what do you think about two and how he carried himself. Two carried himself so well and was so professional. That driver went to the NFL and gave him such raving reviews because that driver was with other players. And then he had two. And that went, he had so many raving things to say to the owners and the other GMs that their mouths dropped on how he carries himself, the respect he has for that driver, the respect he has for other people, the respect he have on being on time being on time for his meetings. That's what NFL owners want to know. Does this person have integrity? For example, when they get them young girls out there at every stop, is he gonna be doing that stuff, rubbing on somebody the wrong way? Is he gonna be at that studio trying to make music every night, or he's gonna be sleeping and putting in that work? Does he understand the playbook? Can he carry a franchise? Can he put a complete sentence together? Does he have the look? People don't realize the look is this here. The reason they give Lamar so much trouble, they don't like the fact that Lamar like Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson had that streak when he had them braids and stuff like that. The NBA could not accept it. We do not want that look to be the face of all whatchamacallit. But Allen Iverson had so much street cred that it didn't make a difference. He still turned out to be the face of the NBA, and they regretted it. They still fought it. But when it comes to two has character, two has integrity, two puts the work in. Two is the hardest worker. If it wasn't for Travis, two the hardest worker on that field. But when you got Travis there, you can't say he's the hardest worker because Travis is him. Travis, when it comes to work, they put work in. It's just different levels of work. But with all that being said, is this, Coach Dre, be stupid enough and pass up on your future franchise quarterback because you listen. These are the same GM that drafted Jamarcus Russell, number one, Mitch Trubisky, number two, traded up to get Mitch Trubisky, gave up another first-round pick. Let's go with San Francisco, how smart San Francisco is. They drafted a quarterback, went up and gave up 4 first-round picks for Trey Lance. I ain't no knock on Trey Lance, for a quarterback that threw the ball, that played 3 games. You're talking about a young man that has turned around every place he's been. He's turned that team around. He turned the whole organization around. Losing teams. I hate to tell people, Jackson State was a floor mat, was a doormat. You know, they're maybe a 500 team. They weren't the Jackson State when they had Walter Payton. They wasn't them. They wasn't them Jackson State. They were a doormat pretty much. He went that way and they become back-to-back SWAC champions, and that means something. Went to Colorado. Hate to tell people, Colorado was 1-11. Doormat. Now they turned around 9-4. You can put it any way you want to. And this is what I love about two. This is what separates two to me from Cam Ward. If Cam Ward get hit the way two got hit, Cam Ward ain't gonna talk like two talking. Cam Ward got a little street in him. And that ain't no nothing. Cam Ward don't play that. Cam Ward gonna let them offensive linemen know you guys ain't what you supposed. Cam Ward will try to fire each one of them. I'm just looking at him. Cam don't play that stuff. He won't take them kind of hits. But my point is this. Two took hits that, man, I'm like, God, dog. I'd have been there and said, man, Dad, all of them got to go. Not only they got to go, any remnants of them got to go. Get them out of here. But two stayed in there, didn't say a bad word about him, and that's what them offensive linemen and those other players are going to love about him. He is going to be with you to the end, and that's all you can ask for. He's a great teammate. Back to you, Coach Dre.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. He showed you I can change what he told y'all. If you don't want somebody to come and change your culture, don't draft me. Don't draft me. Because I know what I can do. I've done it. And so you don't have to ask, has he done it? Like he said, Jackson State wasn't nothing in the SWAC for at least 10 years. Uh, those guys come in and Deion come in. I know what people gonna say. Oh, well, he had the most talent. Hey, work don't care about who do it. They just want it done.
Didn't
Like
Alabama have the best talent?
you get what I'm saying? I mean, when and when Nick Saban was doing it, nobody said nothing. Nick Saban just the greatest coach. No, he just kept stockpiling talent on talent, and he kept getting great coaches. And I said this the other day. Every year that he won the national championship, he lost his offensive or defensive coordinator to get a head coaching job. Right? Nobody cried. Nobody made a big fuss out of it. We went 9-4 and we lose coaches, and it's the end of the world. Right? Like y'all gotta miss us with that. Cause at the end of the day, when you blessed by the best, you ain't worried. You ain't gotta worry about stress. See, it's something different, and that's why Deion talk like he talk and why Shedeur talk like they talk. Cause they've already been there. If you've been around me for the last 2 years, I told y'all I done seen this story written before. The name just changed in the story. Every time they write a book, the name just changed in the story. The name just changed in the story, and nobody listens because they so busy trying to talk.
Coach Dre, I
Yep,
got
go
some.
ahead.
I got something to ask you. Name me another quarterback that's more prepared. Coach Prime has been training two since he was a baby on where he's going and putting him. Coach Prime has been his navigational system. It's nothing two's gonna see from the worldly world that his daddy hasn't prepared him for. If you listen to him on the big stage, what are you looking? I give you an example, and I'm gonna throw these two at you. And if people say one more time about, oh, he's not that athletic, blah blah blah. I ask people, how athletic was Peyton Manning? How athletic was Tom Brady? I ask people again, how athletic was Purdy? How athletic was Purdy? I ask people again, how athletic are these quarterbacks? And let's do this one. How athletic is Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins has made more money than probably any quarterback in the NFL within the last 20, 30 years.
Listen, listen, him. But hey, Miss Debbie said some real stuff. Y'all know it's some real stuff going on. Hard Knocks couldn't get an NFL team to come do Hard Knocks, so they went down to North Carolina and got Bill Belichick to do Hard Knocks. Why? See, Deion ain't Miss Debbie. They don't have to call Deion for Hard Knocks because he already got that going on. So they knew it wasn't no need of calling him because he was gonna probably turn them down. But now now you're gonna see the inside of what's going on in North Carolina in a Hard Knock series. Now this been now if y'all believe that every NFL team in the NFL turned the Hard Knocks down, I got some swamp land out here to sell you. And put your house on. I got some. If y'all believe that all the teams turned down Hard Knocks, no, they did. The teams that they wanted probably turned down Hard Knocks. And so now, hey man, we got to keep our ratings up. Hey man, let's go call Bill up. Let's go see a Bill a bite. But if y'all don't believe this is a way to try to minimize the Deion Sanders effect, because guys, they gonna make it seem like Bill Belichick created all of this. They gonna make this seem, and again, Coach Belichick and Coach Prime have a great relationship. Coach Prime has the utmost respect for Coach Belichick, so nobody needs to say that that's not it. But to know that Belichick is going to get a whole series now, just like Deion going to have his own series through Prime, they just trying to keep Belichick on the same level as Deion. And you can't.
Well, what people have to realize is this, Coach Dre. head coaching is generational wealth. If you look at Jimbo Fisher, that when you pay somebody $75 million to go home and just to get out of a contract, that's generational wealth. That ain't for him coaching. That's for him to be gone because that big contract he had. The next thing is you have is this one here. You're setting coaches up for the rest of their lives because your coaching tree, you're setting up the next set of millionaires in America. I hate to tell people, if you look at everything going on right now, they don't want to see certain people go and keep climbing that ladder, which is crazy. Because once you have diversity, diversity has proven for everybody. Once you have everybody from all colors, flavors, and stuff like that with different ideas, work ethic and stuff like that, America grows and America gets better and better. If you just have one type of something, you're not going to grow. You're not going to come up with new ideas. You're not going to come up with different ways of doing things. And it doesn't bring people together. And if you look at what they're doing with Coach Prime, people can say whatever they want to. They talk about Coach Prime like a dog, and they put him down on everything. But then when they do it, see, you can't have it both ways with me. Then they turn around, everything he doing, they doing. Oh, all they do is play music down there when they was talking about Nebraska. Next thing you know, Nebraska playing music, got videos, they taping everything. All they want is clicks. They taping everything like Oregon. Now they videotaping everything because them young people, that's what they want to see. They talked about Coach Prime being, oh, it's all about him. Next thing you know, Coach Prime got a young man on his team that wasn't American. Now he's an American, became a citizenship of America for his. Look how that changed his family around. Talking about it's all about Coach Prime. Look at the Jimmy Horns for Coach Prime investing in that kid when that kid's father is going through some stuff right now. Look at the other players that Coach Prime is doing. Y'all need to realize Coach Prime got a family himself. Coach Prime has some health challenges that he's fighting and stuff like this. Coach Prime is a millionaire. He don't need it. Coach Prime is looking at that little grandbabies that he see coming up behind him and the other friends that he have. Coach Prime sees that he can open up doors that can help elevate other people. It takes, whether y'all like it or don't like it, it takes a Martin Luther King. It takes a Rosa Parks. It takes a Malcolm X. Somebody got to take the lashes. Because I hate to tell y'all, all y'all tough and y'all stand on business, but when somebody take your job from you and somebody is hitting you upside the head with a beanie stick or letting dogs bite you, some people ain't as tough as they think they are. Some people get on that porch and they sit there and ball up. It takes somebody to take those lashes, and I hate to tell you, and this ain't a color thing for me. This is just society. They, at this time right now, we're in a fight. And we're in a fight where people need to understand everybody has a place at the table. And I'm going to tell people like this one here, I'm going to defend Coach Prime to the end because he's open. He's ensuring that everybody got a place. Because if you take Coach Prime away, what you're going to have is what you had in the past. You got a team that's 70% African-American or 80, and coaching, you got 3%. How can you have 3% coaches? Yes, sir. How can you have?
This is the thing.
I'm gonna go, coach.
Here's the thing. How can you not? And that's why I say people don't listen. In his press conference, he told y'all, I had to take this job because if I don't take this job, I got guys that I know. And now y'all getting to see it now because now it's coming out. I know it's guys that want to be head coaches that they keeping out because they don't have the cachet I got. They don't have the flamboyance I got. They don't got the name I got. So if I gotta like Uncle Steve said, so if I gotta stand out here on this, if I gotta go stand out here on this porch by myself for a little bit, but then once I get out here on this porch and I can pull somebody up, then I can pull somebody up. I heard a old man tell me once before. Even in the Bible, God made people endure something. I think we don't understand that you're gonna have to go through something. You're gonna have to endure something. Yeah, y'all gotta understand. Yeah, God delivered them boys from the fiery furnace, but he had to put them there first. They had to endure some things. You understand? Before David went out there to beat Goliath, David had to go through some things. A lot of y'all everybody just want it nice and easy. See, he told y'all I'm finna make my friends. When he said I'm gonna make my friends millionaires, because these guys had already gave up way more than what they should have. Guys like Hart, guys like Mathis, when I'm telling y'all, when you run a youth program, you ain't getting no money. You're not. You putting out more money than what you putting in. And now I can give my guys the wealth that they need and not just say, oh, they just depending on Prime. Now they can depend on themselves. See, a lot of y'all don't want to go. See, I told y'all, everybody want to be a boss, but nobody want to make boss moves. I keep telling y'all, everybody want to be a chief, but nobody wants to be an Indian. But if you really look at every head, every chief, there's somebody beside him, somebody that's beside him who really running this show. We call ourselves at Eastside. I call my team, I call them boys the mob. And one of the parents asked me the other day, well, Coach Dre, why you call them the mob? I say, well, we the mob. You know, something that the kids like, but y'all think of the mob as in, something violent or something gang related. But I think of it as, for us, it stands for my other brother, right? But also, my son is considered the mob boss because that's what the boys call him because I'm his daddy. But I told him all the time, you don't have to be the Don. You can be the underboss because if you go and watch the mob movies, the boss never made a decision without the underboss. See, everybody want to sit in the chair, but nobody wants to do what it takes to be in the chair. But now Prime has decided in the chair, and now if you notice, all the coaches that's head coaches now, they done came and sit at the throne of the Don. Y'all didn't know that Deshaun Jackson been to Colorado and talked to Deion Sanders and told him what he wanted to do. Y'all didn't know that Michael Vick had came and talked to Deion Sanders and told him what he wanted to do. Y'all think that all of this stuff just happening without? But if Deion fails, what does it do? It gives these people a chance to say, hey, we let y'all top person come out here and coach, and he couldn't get it done. Y'all, I saw somebody in there say, well, besides Bill Belichick got Coach Prime on X's and O's and nowhere else. X's and O's don't really win football games. Y'all see when Tom Brady left, them X's and O's went out the door, didn't they? Y'all know when he was winning them championships at the New York Giants, you had the greatest football player to ever live in Lawrence Taylor over there. That changed a little bit of things. You see, Bill Belichick, every time he don't win a championship, and this no knock on Bill. I think Bill a great football coach. Don't get me wrong. You talking about two guys that are considered the greatest football players that ever lived. What can you do when you got just enough? See, not, like I said, that because this is what Coach Prime finna be judged on. Because you haven't played without Shedeur Sanders, right? You
That's right.
played 1 year without Shedeur, that first little spring season uh, at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
But now, can you win without Shedeur and Travis Hunter? Is the question. And and I think he can because he has set himself up
Mm-hmm.
to be a leader of men. See, anybody can go out there and coach. I tell y'all, anybody can go out there and coach football. Coach Prime wins because this is his purpose. This is what he called to do. You see when Nick Saban got right on out of this thing, when this thing started getting murky. When this thing start finna get even, when this thing finna start getting even, When it's an even playing field, oh no, no sir, no, no, but no, no. Let me let
Coach
me go
Drake.
find something else to do. Go ahead,
Coach Dre, is never going to be an even ball field because when you make the rules, you get to break the rules and you get to change the rules. So it'll never be even because even when people tell me, oh, they're never gonna have the same money as the SEC. The SEC under the table money. Ask yourself this, people in podcast land. I'm from Mississippi. How is it Mississippi is one of the poorest states in America, but they got enough money to pay people Lamborghinis and all this other stuff to play for the University of Ole Miss? How they got that kind of money? Every player come down there, they paying them $3-4 million, but you next to last in education. You're next to last in economic. In any category you name, they in the 42 to 50% range. But when it comes to football, your players on there, they can get the best. You giving them $1 million contracts from the state of Mississippi. So they're going to have money that CU don't have. But what they're not going to have is Coach Prime knows how to pick men with character. And I'm not saying the other guys don't have character. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying that if you look at what Coach Prime doing, and this is what's happening, if you notice, Coach Prime ain't looking at them stars because Coach Prime saw some boys in Georgia and Florida, some guys who don't have really no stars, some receivers. And next thing you know, when Coach Prime go down there and get them an offer, next thing you see, Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama. Let me name one team that's famous for doing this, Oregon. Every time Colorado sees some old Lanning, them clicks, Lanning running to try to take players from CU because they saying, hey, everybody else, they see a star. Man, what is a star? A star only puts pressure on your back. You have to perform. If you notice what Coach Prime is doing, if you get character young men, what it does, it elevates your program because when things are going bad, for example, the game is going and you're not winning and they you down by 2 touchdowns. A lot of young men put their head down and they give up. You can say whatever you want to, even in the BYU game, even in the Nebraska game. Those boys never put their head down. I looked at every game, and I'm telling you, they didn't have that defeatist attitude that most teams have when you get. And I can name Alabama. I've seen some games with Alabama. They put that head down. They folks start whooping up that head. I can name LSU, whooping that head, put that there. I can name, when it came to Oregon, when my boys would start, Ohio State would start lambasting them, they laid down. With all of that being said, when you get young men with character and they got dog in them and that want something and are committed, Coach Prime is going to be successful. I hate to tell y'all, not only is he going to be successful this year, he has a quarterback that's going to take him for the next 3 years. And then going to have another quarterback after them because Juju's going to the NFL, Salt going to the NFL. I have an opportunity. When you getting quarterbacks, because the criticism was he can't get nobody to the NFL. He ain't blah, blah, because they're gonna cut on Coach Prime any way they can because you got to move the post. You got to move that football post, and they're gonna do it. So y'all people, I don't have time for them. They can move it all they want to because my post stays right in one place. You can move it all, but I'm bringing it back right here. But if you move it too far there, then I'm gonna move my post right where you at. Because we're gonna play by the same rules. If you don't have no rules, I'm the dirtiest in the game. We can play it that way too. I hit you low. If you go low, I go just as low. We'll see each other down there because we can go there together. But I'm coming back. Now, we'll go there, but I'm coming back because I'm going a different direction. But with that being said, all I'll tell you is this one here. Coach Prime is moving things. And when you're moving mountains, it's going to be people there who want to stop you. And all Coach Prime needs to do is stay focused because they're going to throw stuff at him that you ain't never seen before. Look at any great man or woman, they're going to throw some stuff at them to see if they got any things in their closet. And thank goodness for Coach Prime that you have shown true to who you are. And I'm proud of you. Back to you, Coach Drake.
I mean, as these last 10 minutes, that's and this is what I want y'all to understand because Uncle Steve been with me since me and Rob been rocking and Jr. Boxer and That's what y'all fail to realize is nobody, y'all can call it, I know the young people call it glazing and doing this, that, and other. It ain't that. It's telling y'all the facts. It's telling y'all the truth. And y'all don't want to hear it because, oh, it should be about football. No, I told you, it ain't about football. It's about more than football. It's about what we can do for these young men. Because I know all of them can't make it to the NFL, but if I can get them here on my campus and they can get this education and they can help somebody else. You see, like he told you, Prime done been to the mountaintop. It ain't many people that go to the mountaintop, come back down to the bottom, and try to carry some other folks to the mountaintop with them. See, that's something that you got to ask yourself. If I made it to the top, would I come back down off of the mountain? Go back down to the bottom of the mountain and put somebody on my back and say, hey, I'm going to carry you to the top of the mountain with me. A lot of you wouldn't. Prime ain't built like that. A lot of you, I tell people every day, you walking around here trying to be something where all you got to do is live in your purpose. God gave everybody a gift. But his gift was for you to bless somebody else. So you so enchanted with I got this gift and I'm gonna keep it to myself. My grandma told me, hey, when you lay down at night and God closed them eyes for the last time, you can't take none of this with you. So why won't you bless somebody while you here? Why won't you help somebody while you here? It's enough bashing Deion Sanders on national TV, on national programs. So why are us as brothers gonna get on this little podcast with this, whatever y'all say, many people we got in here and bash another guy that look like me, who do what I do, who helping young black men like I'm helping young black men. I just need to ask if somebody hear me. Because see, one thing about Coach Dre is I ain't gonna never change how I feel about Deion Sanders. Cause when y'all saw Florida, y'all was like, oh man, who was that guy? See, I knew who Florida was. You know, if you went back and looked at, that was a kid that Coach Prime took from down here in Florida and raised him as his own. Now you see what Shedeur said. Now you ain't seen this kid not one time at Jackson. When he came to Colorado, that was the first time he had been to the University of Colorado. Right? But now I got a chance to bring my brother with me. So you know what, I'm finna bring him with me. See, I went back down. See, I've been at the top of the mountain. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom of the mountain and get my brother. I'm going to bring him up here to the top. And it's a fast rise when you with Shedeur Sanders. It's real quick. And nobody wants to give the man the respect that he needs. You looking for a reason. You're looking for a reason. Right? I tell people, this is what I tell my kids all the time. They talked about Jesus. So why won't the world talk about you?
Coach Dre, just before we get out of here, what I tell people is this one here. Look at those physical therapists or physical trainers that they had at Jackson State, those young ladies that got the opportunity to bring their education to Colorado. And now look what that's going to take them in their lifetime. No knock on Jackson State, that wonderful institution, but to be able to now go to Colorado and take your talents there and put yourself in that type of environment around money, because everything is about relationships. I hate to tell y'all, Coach Prime tells y'all, that's like Coach B. Watts hit me up and he has some things going on. It's about relationship, because I would say, B. Watts, I got some boys that, I got my boys and I want to do some stuff with them. I ain't got time, because they'll be like, Daddy, you gonna do? I'm like, yeah, but so I'm not gonna take too much time away from them, because they 6 and 8. I got my 24-year-old, I got my 30-year-old. I'm getting ready to I'm gonna be a papa pretty soon, because she getting ready. She married and everything. She's the first one. So with that being said, I'll just put it this way. You're opening up doors, man. This is opening up doors for people, because all we hear about football players. This young lady's not these young ladies, it's more than one. because he brought the head when Laura was I forgot her name, the head physical trainer, and she brought some young ladies with her. So this is going to be generational wealth, because instead of making this much money when they get out, now they can elevate it, because on their resumes it's going to be Jackson State and Colorado. Now you got to pay them. Now they're going to be in an area where people ski. And when those people ski, and then you got the football organizations, so you can do all kind of things when it comes to whatever you want to pursue in life. All that's being said, Coach Prime ain't where it's just football. It's bigger than football. These people are going to change people's life. Look at that guy who was training. Coach Tracy had a guy that was at the University of Miami football team. Now he's over there with the Marines, training the Marines. Man, this stuff is bigger than just football. It's life. And these people are going to be the next future leaders in the United States of America. And we need to ensure that we congratulate them. We give them their props. We give them their flowers. And you can close us out, Coach Dre, whatever you want to, because I think B. Watt's going to look back on this and be like, man, them boys did me well. And we only did you well because we got the baddest people out there in podcast land that want the best. And we're going to give it to you each and every time we get on here. With you, Coach Dre, to close us out.
Like Uncle Steve said, it's about the relationships, the respect and the loyalty. Like, bro called me up and said, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the show today. Then he called me back and said, bro, you can do the show by yourself, or do I say, well, call my uncle up, see if my uncle can help me out tonight. And he called me right back and said, Uncle say he got you. And that's what relationships is. That's what brotherhood is. That's what I told you, love is an action word. It ain't just a I love you word. It's a word that I know when I call them guys gonna show up for me. It ain't if I'm gonna show up, it's when I'm gonna show up and how I'm gonna show up. It ain't about it's not about all the other things, because of the simple things is we just some guys. We just some guys. We just some guys that started together. We gonna finish together, because that's what we do. And what we trying to show y'all is that this can be done. I told y'all it's so much in the world going on that's wrong, that why would you come on here and look for us to tell you something, or be negative, or to be unright? Like I say, Miss Angie Stone leaving her own concert, cheering, thinking that she just coming to do something else. Now you got to be sitting here with tears in your eyes and planning a funeral. I know how that feels. It's the worst. I promise y'all, it's the worst feeling in the world. It's the absolute worst feeling in the world. And so don't put off today what you can do. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. Don't leave that house upset with your wife or your kids or your mama, your daddy, your sister or brother, because you just don't know if they're gonna walk through that door again. And then what you gotta think about is the last thing you said wasn't I love you, or I care about you, or I appreciate you. Is we had an argument, we had a fight. I told you better learn how to forgive somebody. How can you not forgive somebody when God forgave us all? And like I always tell y'all before we leave, if I send no ships out, no ships will come in. And if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played, and prayers can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. This has been a B. Watts Sports Talk show with yours truly, Coach Dre, and my number one Uncle Steve. Hey, man, we'll see y'all next Sunday, and I know them boys will be on Tuesday. Good night, and we love all y'all. Y'all be back.
I love coaching these young men and being able to form them and shape them and mold them. I love that, the last 3 semesters, the highest GPA way over 3.0 in the history of the school, like the highest GPA ever for the football team. I love all of that, not just football. Some of those kids were called to me and I was called to them for their lives, to help them navigate through the storms and the pain. And I'm thankful that I've been allowed to go through so much bull junk that I can speak intelligently. That's why I'm navigating my sons. When I see Shedeur sitting up there and they coming at him and he's sitting in the interview smiling and just giving it to him and giving it to him professionally, I love it because we prepare for these moments. When we get to be parents, we want to chaperone our kids and we don't want them to go through that. But we want them to be a dog. But we raising cats. So you got to make sure.
Deion he's an elevator. You know, most people he's an elevator. He's going to elevate you as a person and he's going to force you to elevate your life. And that's what he does. He lifts people up. A lot of the times the light may look like it's shining on him, but really he's shining a light on somebody. Pay attention to what he does. We're good friends and whatever I can do to help him out, I'm gonna do.
Look, I love the celebrities he's bringing in, even Warren Sapp, all these guys. It's just incredible to sort of see.
Understand why he's bringing them there. It's not for just their celebrity. It's so these kids can understand you got to bring people around greatness and have them see it, touch it, taste it, for them to believe that they can become it.
Listen.